Okay, so you're going to be the prospect, and we'll role play out the HJ1. So I've used a frame fire lighter, um, and you've agreed. You said, yeah, sure, I'll take some information. And I've said to you, would it be okay with you if we stayed on the phone for a few more minutes just to make sure it's not a waste of time? That's okay with you, Kevin? Yes?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So, Kevin, I really have one question for you. But before I ask you that question, I want to tell you that I'm going to use a 4-letter word. And in my opinion, it's the ugliest word in the English language. So I didn't want you to be shocked or anything. That 4-letter word is hate. I hate it, Kevin, when people ask me questions and then try to use my words against me. So I promise I'm not going to do that. Would that be okay with you?
Yes, that's
Okay.
fine.
Great. Okay. So here's my question. And Kevin, maybe this has happened while you're sitting in traffic in San Diego. Maybe it's happened at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when it used to happen for me. Maybe it's over a second cup of coffee. But I think most people from time to time wonder or think, gee, it would be great if I had a little bit more of this in my life or a little bit less of that. So the question is, what would you like a little bit more of in your life, and what would you like a little bit less of in your life? Why don't we start with what you'd like a little bit more of in your life, Kevin?
Money.
Okay.
A little bit more money would go a long way.
Okay. And I think we can agree, even though we're just getting to know each other, Kevin, that one man's ceiling is another man's floor. So, what does that mean to you? What would the money do for you?
Well, short term and long story short, I'm a single father. I have twin daughters that are 6, and I'm working a ton of hours as a teacher. So a little money would help to pay off some bills and provide a little more, flexibility for my family.
Mm-hmm. Now, were you the custodial parent? I was a single parent of 2, and I raised 2 kids on my own. So, I understand some of what you might be experiencing. I'd certainly never insult your intelligence and tell you that I know how you feel about it. But I was working a full-time job and, trying to be a good dad. And it was like the balls were always in the air. So you have some bills you want to pay off?
Yeah, going through, going through a divorce put me into debt. So I need to get out of debt and replace my income so I can enjoy the freedom that would provide.
Okay. And so you have what, the girls on the weekend?
And a couple days during the week, so 50-50.
Oh, wow. So yeah, so pretty much like I was, right?
Yeah, it's a lot,
Yeah.
and it's great.
Yeah.
It's the most rewarding and most challenging at the same time.
I hear you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of my kids was a girl, and it was fine until she got around 11 or 12, and it's like makeup and whatever. But it is difficult and rewarding. What are the twins' names?
Elizabeth and Juliet.
Nice. Okay. So now you want to stay with teaching?
No,
Yes.
if I could leave yesterday, I would have.
Okay.
I've been teaching 15 years, and I just, I want to move into my next phase of my life, and that
Yeah.
comes with freedom and success. And
Challenging when you go in as a teacher. With all those ideals, I had them too, and the educational system is very difficult these days for creative teachers. Yes.
without a doubt,
Yeah, without a
son.
doubt. Okay. So what I'm hearing here, and it's fine that we started the other way, is we talked about what you'd like a little bit more of. And when you said money, I know you don't want just a big pile of money to roll around on the bed, but the things that you listed were debt, paying down some bills, and, possibly, like you want to get rid of the teaching job, you want to get rid of the bills, you want to recover from the divorce, and yeah, it's. I think the only ones that make out in divorces are lawyers, right? But we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Anyway, what would it take on a monthly basis to knock out the bills and replace your teaching income?
You know, 6 or 7,000 would be the minimum, but you know, the goal is 10. Right now, to
7,000.
really provide the lifestyle, and you know, obviously, I want to buy a house. There's other things that come with that too. So, but
Sure.
the teaching income is around
So
7.
So you're renting now,
I am.
and you'd like to own a house. Is that like the big next step for you? Is that something that you really desire?
That is my number one goal.
Okay, so I want you to do me a little favor. Okay, it's going to sound a little odd, but I really appreciate you being open here. I want you to imagine you picking the girls up and driving to the home that you just bought, no longer as a teacher, and you're getting to show Elizabeth and Juliet, right, their new bedrooms. They each have their own bedroom, and they're stoked about that. Could you, like, mentally and or physically, if you would, this is the odd favor, could you just mentally close your eyes for a second and imagine walking into that home and what that might feel like to have your girls in a new home and own it and have their own place? What do you think that might feel like?
I dream about that all the time, and you know, immediately I have a smile on my face. You know, I would be so grateful to provide happiness to them, to their experiences. You know, emotionally, it's joyous. It's a great feeling of freedom, of ownership, of success and accomplishment that I've achieved those things, and I'm capable of doing so much more.
I understand. Okay, what I'd like to do at this point, and thank you. That's definitely a wonderful objective. What I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, Kevin, is paraphrase back what I believe you're conveying. Okay, just to make sure I understood you. Would that be okay with you?
Of course.
Okay. Currently, you're a teacher, and you've pretty much had enough of that. Recently divorced, a couple of beautiful daughters, twins, and you know, you got a 50-50 shared custody thing, but recovering from, you know, the financial setback and emotional trauma of divorce has sort of left you stuck in this job. It's not fulfilling for you anymore, and you'd like to replace that income plus to get up to around $10,000 a month, with the real objective behind all of it to own a house and walk in that house with Elizabeth and Juliet, and that would put a smile on your face. You'd be grateful, happy, and joyous. Does that pretty much feel accurate to you? Is that what you were trying to share?
I think so. I mean, you did a great job of putting that together.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the question is as to whether or not it's worth your time getting together with me and looking at this information is currently you don't have a plan for Elizabeth, Juliet, and a house, right?
Unfortunately not.
Okay. Would you like to do something about it now?
Definitely.
Okay. So, folks, you make notes, you paraphrase back what they said, and you ask them if they'd like to do something about it now. Now, for those of you that have been through this with us before, you know something that Kevin doesn't know. What Kevin doesn't know, my prospect here, is that he's already in the business, and all I have to do is not talk him out of it. Because we have emotionally, not me telling him how he should feel, Kevin has told me how he's going to feel about what he wants. Now, you should have noticed in the beginning when I said, and they always do this, folks, what would you like more of in your life? What would you like less of? Let's start with more of, and Kevin started with less of. That is how beat up people are. They can't even think positively. I had to bring them over there, ask them, be honest with them, but gentle. Saying, well, that's really, we started with less of. I said, that's fine. Let's get to the more of. All that stuff's taken care of. What is it that you would do if all that stuff's taken care of? And he wants to get a house for his kids. Folks, he's coming to that meeting to join. It doesn't matter what you show him. He's in. Because now time and money, the normal pseudo objectives, objections, they don't exist anymore. Why? Because people don't buy product, plans, and companies. They buy value. Now, the amateur network marketer can explain the value of ACN, Kevin. That's the amateur. The professional that you never hear of, people like me, okay, they get the prospect you turn from a possibility into a prospect. And who created the value, me or you?
You did.
You did.
Oh, I see.
The value's here. The value is Elizabeth, Juliet, smiling, grateful, happy, joyous. And I know coming out of a divorce and having financial setbacks and being in a job you don't want anymore is not making you smile. It's not making you grateful. It's not making you happy, and it's not making you joyous. So I ask you again, who created the value for seeing this information, me or you?
Right, I did. And you just kind of led me through it.
Exactly. And folks, that's what it's all about. So he has now put himself, it says right there where it says consider, put themselves in the hero's journey. You see, what's happened when Kevin talks about the house and the kids and feeling grateful, and you hear, if you were really listening like I was, Kevin got more animated. He fell out of role playing here, and he started talking from his heart. It was important to him. He's creating emotional value to Kevin. That's nothing I can give him. And that's the Diane Vreeland thing I talked about. Give people what they don't know they want yet. That's what Vreeland said. I've used the hero journey, a skill set that I created with Davine, to get Kevin to give himself what he didn't know he wanted yet. And of course, it was probably there, and he thinks about it from time to time, but we amped it up by getting him to consider how he would feel. And you know this if you're going through Think and Grow Rich. Thought charged with feeling becomes a belief. He's now starting to believe or think, I wonder if this is really possible. He's coming to that meeting with a completely different mindset. Then I got to tell you about this great service we have. And we've been in business 21 years, and we've paid out $4 billion in commissions. Kevin doesn't care about that. So find out what Kevin cares about and close on that. And for those of you that have been through HJ3, the Hero Journey skill set, you now know that Kevin has given us the perfect closing sentence. Because what I'm going to say to you at the end after I show you the business, let's say you're Davine's prospect, I'm going to say, Kevin, what's Davine done on this call so far?
Nothing.
Would it be okay with you if Davine and I did for you what I'm doing for Davine tonight? Would that be okay with you?
Yes.
Now, there's only two possibilities here. One, you join our team and you turn me and Davine and John, who you'll also meet, into an abysmal failure. Or two, you join our team and we turn you into a hopeless success. What do you actually believe would happen, Kevin? You turn us into failures or we turn you into a success?
I think success. It's clear.
Walking through the front door with Elizabeth and Juliet in your new home is going to feel happy, joyous, and put a smile on your face. Yes?
Yes.
Let's get you started.
I already have.
He's in. So that's how you, that's the beginning, HJ1.